They banned it on red side in game one, so on blue side, they clearly know what they don't want to play against. They could first pick the Gangplank or ban it again, as they did in game one. So far, no change in the bans. And yeah, just a blue side Gangplank, so it's KSV saying, these are our problem champions right now, and their use of the Gangplank hasn't really fit the moniker, so they'll just ban it away. If we have any change in bans, the final ban of Kog'Maw would do it. The same, but no, MVP does not want to see Ambition on Sejuani. That'll be the final ban. So now action on to KSV, see where the priority is in this one. Jarvan has been increasing in priority, but probably not as a first pick. Maybe for Ambition, maybe to keep up the aggression. They feel like they need it, so with Sejuani taken away, they seem to want to keep up the proactivity. Or maybe it's a question on Ambition's champion pool. Hard to say, but first pick J4.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, you got Zoe left available. Crown was looking pretty good on that again today. He wasn't outstanding, but he wasn't really given time to get to 3-4 items when Zoe gets very oppressive. But either way, we are going to see that coming through. And the Kog'Maw not banned this time around. They will give that one over to Maha.
Banned it on blue side in game one, but this time they're going to be leaving it up, and Tom Kench as well. Okay, so a Kog'Maw draft has been enacted. Ruler was having a really fun time on the Tristana in game one, so may just consider another go-around. Taric, Tristana, very possible here, and that would mean 3 of the same picks in a row. See if there's any prized mid laners they want to look to. Zoe and Azir still available, so Ian not wanting to return to that one perhaps. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's very, very interesting to see them draft the same thing once again. I mean, Tristana was taken last by KSV in the last draft, and with Ezreal and Kalista still available, they go for the Tristana Taric once again. We are going to see Ian on Zoe again, potentially. They do have some bans they can enact here in the mid lane if they want to keep Ian a bit more safe on the Zoe.
I do like the pick against Crown, because Crown looked pretty unsure against the pick when he played Azir into Kuro's Zoe. But given that Ian struggled pretty heavily on the pick 2 days ago, it's more about the strength of the hypothetical than necessarily Ian, who may have been able to practice the pick and show us something new, but wasn't impressed with his Zoe a couple of days ago. He's going to ban away what's strong, and the Malzahar would at least allow Crown to defer to initiation and perhaps sitting back and farming. That's going to be denied as well. I wonder if they'll ban the Azir just to force a very new matchup here.
In that case, we'd probably get Talia.
True.
Seems like that's what we get every single time.
Ooh,
but
they want to see him back on the Azir. That's interesting.
All right. I don't know about that. Definitely playing for the matchup rather than for the tier list, you could say. We're going to see another jungler, Kha'Zix, taken away. Really cutting down on Beyond's champion pool this time around.
So do you just lock Sion here if you're MVP? Would give away nothing about the draft. Allow them to last pick jungle if they want to pull off one of Beyond's carry champions. But no, okay. We're going back old school. So Rek'Sai actually going to be locked in here. Beyond was our first ever Tiamat rush Rek'Sai in Korea. Probably still just going to be Cinderhulk tank, but just to be another frontliner for the Kog'Maw. But you're never 100% sure with Beyond. And Crown says, well, you want me to play it. Looks like he's going to play it anyways, Valdez.
Ambition.
It's actually more, I think it's supposed to be like Ambition, because there is the famous meme of Ambition with the baseball bat.
Yeah. No idea where we are, just smile. PS MVP win.
I mean, there were tickets available before the match started, so I guess you could wander onto the stage and find yourself in the pinnacle of video gaming.
That's a possibility.
That's great.
They come and they don't even understand that they're watching the world champions on the stage right now. They're like, hey, what's this cool thing going on?
Oh, this would be a cool new pick, though, Valdez.
Yeah, we're looking at a Poppy here.
That was an old favorite of AD. He's going to lock it in. So it's not the Scion, but it's another ADD special. Interested to see which rune we see from the Poppy. Will it just be Unsealed Spellbook for playmaking? If we see Teleport as a starting choice, probably not. So interested to see what route we see here with Poppy. Poppy can surely be unkillable. Can also eject threats coming into the immobile Zoe and Kog'Maw in fights. But it's not the Scion, but it's certainly cut from the same cloth from ADD, who wanted Ultra Comfort. Going into lane dominance on the Camille didn't work for him, so back to farming and tankiness for ADD.
Yeah, I mean, Poppy can surprise you sometimes with her damage and her unkillableness, especially early on in the game. But as you mentioned, basically just going to be a hard tank for ADD. Perhaps even just saying, I don't want to fight you at all. Like, if you try to get onto me, I'm just going to pop you away. I want to farm, and I don't want to die. And hopefully that my team can come together around Maha on the Kog'Maw and just try to play as a unit here in game number 2.
Some buffs also for the Resolve Tree. Probably going to be Grasp with the Undying coming through, given that we can see it's not Unsealed Spellbook from what we could tell. So Resolve Tree, now you can get a bit of AD and AP for laning phase. And also the tankiness. So yeah, probably it's going to be a super tank that doesn't die, like you mentioned, Valdez. Whereas this is the mother of all teamfight comps here from the side of KSV, who still love finding initiation from multiple places, and maybe even Crown can do it. Ian was bested by BDD's Azir, but Crown did struggle in the same matchup. He also now gets stage practice in the same matchup, so we'll see how Ian's able to do Zoe versus Azir. Should at least, to some degree, favor the Zoe.
Yep, the reverse mirror matchup coming up once again. Let's jump into game number 2 right away. Here we go, game 2 of the best of 3, MVP versus KSV.
This would mean double digits if they were to lose. 9 game losses in a row would be 10 in a row if MVP dropped this set 2-0. Would be 0-5, negative 10 game score already. 1 foot in relegations, you would think, with a start like that. Oh, listen, I haven't actually seen the Christmas Poppy skin. There you go, that's a new one for me. Don't see a lot of Poppy in solo queue.
I saw a Poppy support the other day. It wasn't bad, but eventually did fall off.
So Poppy's W is always the mechanic that's the most fun to talk about. Can, of course, block the flag and drag from Ambition. Also Azir's E, so you can do, even Tristana. In fact, there's 4 different champions here with interrupts, so maybe Poppy will pull off some fun mechanics in team fights that can be interrupted.
Definitely could be part of the idea, especially as a last pick on the side of MVP. Kind of like a trump card coming in here.
Waiting for confirmation of which tree ADD went into. Again, my thought is going to be Grasp with the Undying and Resolve. But we'll get that confirmation. Unsealed Spellbook for Cuve. Probably nothing else too exciting, but true tank matchup. So sort of matchup where we're on 8.1 still, guys. Still not 8.2. So Unstoppable is still a thing on the Bellows Breath and the W from Cuve. So we'll be able to outplay things like the wall stun. And look at this, Summoner Airy. Very interesting. So not actually going to be going for Grass like expected. They are going Resolve second, but Airy there just for stronger trading patterns. Not sure I'm a fan, but that's the decision made by ADD.
And if he's going Airy, you have to wonder, did he go Scorch as well? We were talking about, you know, maybe does he just sit back and
well, you're not going to be gathering
relax.
a storm, are you, really?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, did he just go for that Scorch? And maybe he wants to get a little bit harassy against the Ornn here in the top lane with the Poppy.
Seems weird. I feel like early harass, unless you're a true lane bully, is just going to be shrugged off by all the inching forward of item builds you can do as Cuve, and then if you're able to push in Poppy, which should be possible here. I feel like the wave clear is stronger for Ornn than it is for the Poppy. Then access to the Honey Fruit when it spawns around 6 minutes is also going to keep the Ornn touched up. So yes, I would love to know the full sorcery tree to get an insight into where he went.
Yeah, no doubt we will. I mean, we don't see Poppy very often, right? So as I say it, there we go, Scorch.
Also has the magic resist shield there in the sorcery tree as well. Nothing that surprising about conditioning and second win in the Resolve tree.
Yeah. You could begin to see some of the poking that comes out towards Cuve. Although it is Ornn, and it looks like he went for biscuits as well. So just seems like he also had a good idea of what he was going to be facing against the Poppy.
Old ADD special. Sion and Poppy, or may even end up being ADD only picks for the season. We don't really have other Sion. The only Sion I can remember was Max on his own team playing the Sion, and then Smeb in an all-star game playing Sion. Otherwise, we don't get a lot of Sion over here. So far, a very comfortable laning phase. MVP do have what you expect when you see a first-round Cogmore. Strong tank line.
Ooh.
Creative pathing here, but Beyond does spot Ambition walking through the lane with the Tremor Sense, so probably going to back away, and Crown just getting help back in this scenario.
Yeah. Faster back means that you can get to the lane faster in time to get more of the creeps. Just a little bit of help. Ambition, of course, does take some of the XP if he stays nearby. Did go in and get a couple of deeper wards in the red side jungle. Has vision now on Beyond. It's pretty nice.
Usually when you see a Cogmore with 3 tanks, your first thought is to instantly give the scaling advantage to MVP. And in some scenarios, their Siege is very strong, but so is that of KSV. They do have options. To me, though, I look at KSV's comp, and I think even in team fights, they have so many different ways to access the backline, most of which are AoE. You know, the knock-up and Cataclysm from the Jarvan, the ultimate from QV, even just Azir and Tristana, rocket jumping or using the soldiers to get in, and the Taric ultimate. There's so much access to the backline that teamfights is going to be really gated by how fed the Maha is. You know, even at 3 items, it feels like they're dwarfed in damage because they have a burst mid laner and a consistent damage AD carry. KSV may just win at most like level and item points in this game. I felt their break-evens are in a great spot here against MVP's comp. So unless there's some early snowball, I think MVP will have some concerns as things go on.
Okay, we're going to get an engage here on an Ian, who does pop his stopwatch. Ambition decides he's not going to go in. Smart idea. Was going to be slept as well.
Yeah, timing worked against them 6 minutes 10 into the game when the stopwatch is popped.
Now,
that will not change when we move to patch 8.2 next week. So again, reiterating, 8.1 all of this week, all 5 match days, and then next Tuesday, so a week today, we will move to patch 8.2.
It's fun to have Spo TV on Tuesdays because we always get the first day of the new patch. Get a little bit of a preview into what is to come. Although I would say for 8.1, the first week looked a lot different compared to week 2.
Yeah, we saw definitely a different priority on carries. You know, a lot of AD carry bans in week 1, and then ban phase did change quite a lot in week 2. Korea used to be the first region to play competitive on a patch back in the Champions days of 2014, but I think midway through 2015, the patching day changed to Wednesday in Korea. That means that the match week starts less than a full week later, and that's why we end up being behind basically every other region. Sometimes the LPL is behind also, but we're definitely always a little bit later. So patch 8.1 all week. I know you guys love the Quadra Relic Shield bot lanes like we have here.
Oh, yeah. Tons of fun. My favorite. Okay. The GLP, they're coming in onto Crown. Is not able to get away just yet. The burst damage is too much. And Beyond picks up first blood in the mid lane against Crown.
Just seems surprised by the damage that came down. Cleanse obviously nothing in that scenario. Specifically from Beyond, who only had a Tracker's Knife and a Ruby Crystal. Seemed to surprise Crown. He goes down. Nice pathing there from Beyond. Good first blood.
Yeah, he looked for that twice. The first time Ambition was there. The second time, Crown just had no idea. You notice that there are 2 control wards on the right side of the mid lane, and that's a big reason why they were able to pull that off.
Yeah, one of them placed by Ian earlier, and then cementing the fact that there was no entry vision as Beyond came in. So a lot of safety there. We actually saw the W from Poppy be relevant on the charge, but in the replay, everything hits from Ian. Beyond with a nice pathing. A+ on that gank from MVP.
Nicely done for sure. That's a good way to get your Zoe ahead in the lane, even though the Rex side did get the kill.
For KSV, it is a rollback on 4 out of the 5 champions, so it is ultra comfort for them, and they do have a lot of options here. We're not seeing Ruler hop, skip, and jump yet. Not quite super fed in the laning phase like he was in the previous game. And when it comes to ADD, can mention that one of Poppy's favorite items was buffed in recent patches. Sunfire Cape now, compared to some of the other rushes, is definitely in a great spot. Poppy always was a Sunfire abuser.
Okay, they're going to attempt to go onto ADD. Misses the knock-up with KSV's pillar, so they decide against it.
It's really tricky for Jarvan and Orin with their low burst damage to kill a Poppy through ultimate flash and everything else, so a low percentage gank there for Ambition. Doesn't want to give up his red side jungle. That's why he's showing himself through the river. And they also don't want to give up the Cloud Drake, which already is below 1,500 health.
Yeah, and is now going to be dead, one smite away. Nice little Cloud Drake pickup for MVP. Definitely it's going to help for a lot of their members. Zoe doesn't have an escape. Kog'Maw always likes to be in better position. Rek'Sai for engage. It's pretty decent.
I just like seeing MVP play to their draft. That's the decent thing from this game for me. You know, playing to a draft that doesn't necessarily outscale, and Beyond's pathing on the Rek'Sai, one of his best champions historically. Let's watch his Paddle Star.
Or not.
Well, it did a lot of damage, I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Hit off screen. We didn't want to show you, it was censored, guys. My apologies.
Spo TV gets it, you know? You got to censor the Zoe even from the get-go.
We only have a 12 rating. If it's a big enough AP value, we just don't show Paddle Stars anymore. Sorry, guys.
No one-shots.
Nope.
Did more than half of his health and damage, though.
I think a Q from Rek'Sai did about 150 damage somewhere there as well. But
true.
Yes, it was mostly the Paddle Star. Maha also been able to get away with going for a very early purchase into the Cull and a bit of gold generation. So the laning phase, which was a horror for the side of MVP. Last time they ran the Kog'Maw, is actually a source of strength now. Ahead in CS, no jungle attention on the bot side. Beyond controlling the red side jungle of KSV has allowed Maha and Max to push up and take more aggressive trades. And now Beyond also able to divide up the map top side and get the maximum as well. Not often that you can control objectives left, right, and center, but Ian helping out with some good trouble bubbles.
Yeah, Beyond kind of playing this like a Shyvana in solo queue, where you just try to take all the objectives and farm up as fast as possible on the Rek'Sai, same as the Shyvana. And so far, he's been doing a really nice job. He gets the Drake and the Rift Herald, and even a first blood to boot. So Beyond really popping off on one of his big old comfort picks of Rek'Sai.
And Beyond is a really difficult jungler to talk about because of MVP struggles and how strong his debut season was. 2016 summer, also the Spo TV debut season, you know. Most people were front row to see this guy develop very, very fast. He had his own signature picks like the Amumu. He played twice, full AP. He was touted to join SK Telecom T1 in the offseason of 2016 as a replacement for the retiring Bengi before Peanut became available, but still on MVP, and obviously with his team struggles, hard to be an individual star. 2017 wasn't a great year for him. He didn't really find much consistency, and now he finds Jarvan.
Yeah, found him. He's going to get Cataclysm here, knocks up into a flash. We even have a TP coming in from Core JJ. By the way, Unsealed Spellbook still in the game.
Brown was able to turn onto the Azir, turn onto the Zoe, and got a free flash. So that was also a win in two spots there. The threat that was so massive onto Beyond with control wards and the Rek'Sai and Zoe looking for his life, no longer going to be there with summoners down.
We had an attempt down the bot lane with Abyssal Voyage. Looked like low Beyond was trying to get in there and pick someone off, but nobody even blew summoners on the side of KSV.
I just like that MVP read the bot lane a lot better. In game one, they were abused by the tier being purchased and the all-in coming through from KSV. This time they waited that out, got Cull, and just played safe. So went for the farming approach, and the farming approach has worked out very well for them. ADD not winning trades in the top side, but staying very competitive in CS, as we can see.
Stacking that health as much as possible. Double Ruby Crystal, this time around.
I'm a bit surprised to see QV still go for Frozen Heart Rush. I think in this game, where Frozen Heart is of lower value than in previous games, only Kog'Maw really going to be attack speed based. I thought Iceborne Gauntlet for winning the trades even harder than he already is would have been the opt-into, but QV is just Frozen Heart at every opportunity, as far as we can see, for this top lane Ornn.
Just crafting some Ninja Tabi in the bush. Might as well when you're Ornn. Doesn't really have to go back. Having a fun time. You can see that now. Fight is happening in the bottom side. Summoner heal and Taric heal at the same time means big heals all around. But he gets licked here. He's going to get slowed down. Ignite now from Max. Cortez doing a nice job body blocking in the front. But so far, the MVP bottom lane winning out.
It seemed like they're getting very greedy to try to force the full reset of the minion wave. Pushed up for it. And that was the reason that Ruler took his whole health by. Wanted a good back timing, but got very greedy to do so. One of those things that the highest level of play is always so important is the back timing, whereas in solo queue, especially at the lower elos, not really a metric to talk about. First big chunk we saw from Ian onto the Azir could be a preview, and again, we must compliment Ian because we had a lot of rough words to say about his mastery of Zoe last time out. It's been a lot better this time.
Maybe it was just a bad day, or maybe he's had a little bit more time to practice. A couple of days to do so. But either way, looking better so far. Beyond gonna spawn the Rift Herald in the mid lane. And they might even look for a fight, but everything is missing. For now, just pushing them away from the lane. Trying to get this turret, but do not want to overcommit. And so perhaps they will not be able to in the end.
A lot of damage. It's taken out.
Yeah, they do get it. Trying to engage now onto Ian. Coming in the back now. They're trying to get onto this Poppy, but Poppy doesn't die, as we all know. Ruler now thinking about poking away, but they get the turret, and everybody gets out alive.
Yeah, communication from MVP. Again, I love this shot call of just putting the Rift Herald in the mid lane. They knew that Ambition wasn't around, and just trying to end the laning phase early in mid. And that's not just because mid lane turret is considered to be the gold standard of any outer turret to take because of all the access for enemy vision it gives you to get into the enemy jungle, but also because now suddenly Azir doesn't have a short lane to farm unless his Sun turret is used in the mid side. Making the lane longer is more area for those trouble bubbles to hit, more area for the Azir to be ganked. Baha's really going strong in bot side.
Well, he has the Rage Blade, and it was stacked up, so they kind of got caught there in the lane a little bit too far forward. They have to play it very passively, and what that means is that, again, Ian and Beyond can come on over, get another Drake, and MVP still winning the bottom lane. Very happy about it. Beyond will pick up this Mountain Drake. Next one will be an Ocean.
We're definitely seeing some old Samsung Galaxy from this KSV performance. To me, the biggest thing I see this game I didn't see last game is when a jungler actually is successful in pro activities. Look at Maha's aggression on the top. But when a jungler is actually successful in bullying around Ambition a bit, he falls into his shell. We don't have to hold on to that point.
Yeah, it looks like Max might be in a little bit of trouble. He's got a stopwatch, though. Will it matter in the end? He does have his flash available. And in fact, everybody gets out, no Cataclysm available, and Ambition didn't want to hop over the wall by himself, so he does get away.
Good value on the stopwatch that time. Max is a bit creative. We haven't necessarily seen the brand this season, but making the Tom Kench work here. Again, just to finish the point, it feels like KSV is always most in their shell when the enemy jungler is getting ganks off early and Ambition is just pulling back and farming, which is his natural playstyle. I felt like this was always the way to dictate towards KSV, because KSV kind of give the enemy team 5 to 10 minutes to do whatever they want whenever Ambition doesn't have his item timings, whenever they don't have vision control on the map. When they have vision, traditionally, KSV is one of the best teams in Korea, but when they don't have jungle pressure or vision, that's when KSV looks very, very susceptible. Most teams do, but KSV more so than other top teams in the world.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see once, other teams, even after watching games like this, where a team like MVP, who has had zero luck, literally zero, in this league so far, can come in here and dominate an early game against the World Championship. People are going to begin to realize, like, hey, we can also take advantage of this. Now look at this. We have 2-on-1 up in the top lane. Cuvée totally caught by surprise. Looks like that was another Abyssal Voyage gank. That's what I was saying about Max. He's really making that TK work for him.
I don't know if the vision was there. I don't know if ADD had already walked into lane when his top lane was there, but very nicely done. Just ejects the minion wave.
That he will, but a couple minions left over.
This will take a a while.
Yeah, they're diving. Corja J is tanking here. They're going to jump on in. Cataclysm used flash as well. Dazzle coming in. And a follow-up knockup means that finally they will get the kill. But the first turret, and at least another turret, is going to go over to MVP in the top lane.
And MVP have immense Baron pressure. They have both outer turrets down on the top and mid lane, pushing a bit of damage into the mid lane inner turret as well. Maha and Max don't need to slow down. That Rage Blade stacking up again. This Vision trade wins KSV information around the Drake, but MVP, with Kog'Maw this strong, I'm going to be very interested in Baron, and also very interested in just keep going.
They keep going. We got Ornn in this lane to help with the defense, but KSV is beginning to realize, hey, we don't want to give up an inhibitor turret at this point. We saw one assistance ping over at the Baron, but again, it wasn't spawned yet. They weren't going to go for 20 minutes. Would have been very, very risky. But let's take another look at how this happened.
So Poppy hasn't showed himself yet. This was a really nice Abyssal Voyage. Juve didn't know about the lane, so there was no information for him to know that Maha with a nice flash as well. He would have lost damage, and Juve would have been able to flash over, if not for the extra 2 to 3 auto attacks he gained by flashing the Bellows Breath. Aggressive flash on Kog'Maw, not always a good thing. That time, very smart. They trade up in terms of where the vision is. But let's remember that even when MVP was flying, which was right at the end of last season, and also in spring season, their ability to play around vision, their macro play, was always their biggest struggle. It felt like their fundamentals around playing the lane where they had the most vision, one of the weakest in the LCK. Can they take advantage of the fact that everything about the current game stat, a very early outer mid lane turret down, both top lane turrets down, everything is screaming Baron buff threat. So let's see if MVP can take those invitations, push up vision into the blue side area here, and actually ratchet up the game tempo to complement how they've been playing so far.
We got another play here. This time Kive is totally safe. Wanted to go 3v1 to find the unsuspecting Ornn, but did not work out as they misjudged his pathing.
Maha with early Rage Blade. We haven't seen this as much recently on Kog'Maw, or Varus for that matter, but against 3 tanks and against Cosmic Radiance, just wants to keep his stacks up, and also he knows there's going to be a lot of threats close to him in team fights. Whenever you see Dive on the enemy team, the value of Hurricane goes up, and when you see Kite on the enemy team, value of Hurricane goes down, and something like Rapid Fire Cannon is usually going to be the favorite choice.
Well, we got Maha with the red buff, and lots of pings around Baron earlier. Really trying to get as much vision over there as possible. We were talking about the Baron threat. So far, just hanging around mid lane for now. Tristana getting some items on herself as well, but still not comfortable enough to go head-to-head with Kog'Maw just yet.
And when it comes to Kog'Maw's itemization, he doesn't have Blade the Rune King, so we're not talking about the fastest Baron ever, but we are talking about minion waves pushed up, control wards put down, and are they on Baron, and can I walk here and not die to Zoe Trouble Bubble? Is the kind of mind game that MVP want to pull off with this team. They have very good pick, and they can get deep enough visions. You cannot necessarily underrate how strong Poppy is as a teleport flanking tank either. So that's the play pattern they want to force. So for that, they need some control wards. Seems like Tahm Kench and Zoe are aware of that, but need to at least cement down 3 control wards. If they don't have river control with outer mid lane turret and 2 top lane turrets down, that is just a mistake for MVP.
Ian himself picking up 3 control wards, just placed one. Right now, it seems like up towards that top tri-brush, but you can tell that everybody on the side of MVP really looking towards that vision to help them win the game, as well as a 3rd Drake. This Ocean Drake being chopped down at the moment. Not much that KSV is doing to stop it, just attempting to get a push going up on the top lane.
Yeah, with no vision at all, KSV feels strong enough to go to this objective, make the right call that MVP will be spending time on the Ocean Drake. Another Ocean spawning is a little bit to the frustration of MVP to not find an Infernal or a Mountain, but such as the RNG nature. Against the map control, KSV able to get the outer top lane turret. They put down also the Sun turret there. Usually you save the Sun turret for a 5v5 scenario, but putting it there to actually shorten the lane as Crown also gets back off, very important.
It's a game of seconds And had they been there just 1 second earlier, they could have delayed the back and potentially killed Crown. And we all know what Tom Kent's picks can do. So far, Max has been very impressive on the pick of Tom Kent. Didn't really have the option to go this aggressive in game number 1.
Juve and ADD doing no damage to each other. We've already reached that game state. Thank you, Observer, for sparing us the pain of the inaction.
Yeah.
And KSV, actually, by Crown's pushing topside, spared themselves a lot of headaches because he pushed out the outer top lane turret. He put down the Sun turret. The minions that should be pushing into, almost the inhibitor area of KSV have been delayed for a good 2 to 2.5 minutes to no cost because the Sun turret has been put there. It shortened the top lane. It stopped the Baron threat from being as high. It's a lot of value. But the threat from Maha is pretty high as well.
He's getting aggressive. He is not scared of anything right now, especially not Ruler. Oh. Getting hit by the trouble bubble here. Might be in a bit of trouble. There's going to be the follow-up. He does have his stopwatch still available, but can he get out of this one? The lick is missed time, and he does flash over the wall, but in comes Beyond, going to finally pick up that kill, and Ruler just a little bit too far forward, not respecting Zoe, gets called out.
That means the MVP going to turn onto the Baron, so even after the delay, they start up the objective. Turret health, Baron health down to around 6,000. Teleport's coming.
Okay, they're going to try it, but it's going to be a 5-on-4. They can easily turn this one around. They want to get onto Ambition. A knock-up onto Maha, make that 2, and actually the steal comes in. Ambition goes in there all by himself and gets the Baron away. Nicely done by him. I'm very surprised that MVP didn't stop attacking and they didn't turn.
They're trying a turn here, trying to kill Core JJ on the exit, cancel out a Baron buff. A lot of damage onto him. They're not going to be able to keep it, finish it off though, but Valdez, this is MVP. Remember the interview that Beyond gave last season where he said, I love the rush of the 50-50 Baron fight. I'm happy and confident in my ability to smite. MVP had 2 top lane turrets down, the mid lane turret down. There is no world where Jarvan should get in smite range. They did everything right. They had a great teleport ward as well, but they didn't turn off the Baron. They got too greedy when the Baron was around 2,000 health. Every other team in this league, unless it was a 50-minute game they were behind, would turn, take the fight, have the gold, have the Fed Cogmore, and get kills. But like you say, you're surprised because that is not a traditional Korean move. But sadly, that is a traditional MVP move. And even in a game where they had such a good first 25 minutes, now suddenly they find themselves against a Baron.
They were doing so well, man. The hype was getting real. I thought we might have an MVP game win on our hands. Still a potential possibility here, so don't want to call it too much, but let's see what happens afterwards.
Gold lead is gone. 1,000 gold here for MVP. Their control of the map, which was really what we could talk about, is also going to be shortened because, hey, guess what? When you are against a team like this, you can force them down mid with Baron minions. Zoe's threat, while it's annoying, is not as severe.
Maha very close to the front, even eating some damage. Now ADD trying to push them off of this turret. Seems inevitable from KSV that they will get at least 1 turret here. Pushing onto mid, and even a wave down on the bottom side looking to be cleaned up here.
And KSV's items, in this particular case, tell us a lot about what they want to do. They want to siege. They have heavy magic resist here. Adaptive Helm on both frontliners. Banshee Veil on Azir. They want to take the turret, but the turn here from MVP, it's no real way for them to initiate.
Oh, we got the knock-up here on a Ruler. Can they actually follow it up? That's the Ort, knock up 4 people. There it is with the Cosmic Radiance. They're going to get 1. Can they get 2? They can't get Maha in the back. They finally do after Ambition goes down, and a double kill goes over to Crown, and this game is getting out of control now.
Yeah, their initiation is so small. They try to initiate, but Taric ult is well-timed. They're going to lose multiple turrets for this, and Valdez, that creeping feeling of doubt for MVP, it's shouting right now. It's not creeping anymore.
God, I had a feeling at the beginning of today. I'm like, I think MVP, maybe they're going to upset KSV here, maybe at least get 1 win. But so far, it's not looking good for them as they're losing turret after turret, going on in. Now to the inhibitor, looking to continuously push in. They only want to get this inhibitor and back off at this point, as death timers aren't too long at 28 minutes.
Oh, the struggle of MVP. In their losing streak last year, had a lot of frustration at these 50-50 Barons. You think, okay, it's a new year, same lineup, but have they changed? The answer is no. You know, they still are this team that skips steps. You know, most Korean teams, they'll push out the vision, they'll put down the wards, they'll turn off Baron. MVP got greedy, and now we see the fight here. MVP's comp kites really well. They're very strong with Baron. They get very greedy going in on a full health with overheal shield ruler, and then guess what? It's Azir Tristana. This is a very strong team fight comp from KSV. They don't take any burst at the start. Maha is exposed. The tank line is just going away from him, so he's completely exposed in the backside. The formation doesn't work when you're against Baron buff. And MVP now, they're behind.
Yes, they definitely are. It was a nice block by ADD to block the flag and drag from Ambition. It was what you were talking about, one of the strengths of Poppy. They could have just used that to stay as a unit behind the turret, delay as much, wait until Baron goes down, and then take a better fight. But as you said, kind of a risky, greedy fight. They wanted to get onto Ruler. They thought they could catch him again, but the answer was absolutely no. And Orin with the quadruple knockup was pretty nice to watch as well.
And I guess that's my struggle, Valdez, is, you know, when it comes to a team like MVP, their fundamentals are so different to other teams. In this game, they were ahead in gold, ahead in tempo. But when you think of MVP fundamentals, you think of the crazy champs, like Max playing everything in support role, the Sion, the Syndra. Those are their fundamentals. When you think of their macro fundamentals, they have very consistently been the worst team in the league in that. And then when you also have champion pool issues, when you also are short of form, you have very little to fall back on except, all right, AD plays Poppy, that's right, and he plays Sion too. They have some champions to fall back on, but the simple stuff they make look difficult, like that Baron buff. And then a team like KSV doesn't need two introductions to get back into a game like this.
You give one chance away to a good team, they're going to roll with it and try to win the game. Doesn't help also that Beyond on the tanky Rek'Sai has 4 of the 5 kills that MVP have gotten so far. They're going to get a knock up here, but really just trying to siege at the turret, see if they can get any picks. Orin's ultimate at this point is going to be insanely fast. You can see already a 4th of the cooldown is up.
Very rarely does a team against Zoe have a sieging advantage, but you know, we outlined the Magic Resist purchases earlier. The double Adaptive Helm and Banshee Veil early on Azir means they can actually use Azir and Tristana to siege. You know, they can actually not have to respect every trouble bubble as if it's going to lead to an immediate death. So don't often see 3 tank lineups against the Zoe, but it's working very well here and able to push in, keep up the pace of the game. The Baron buff power play was really big for KSV in this game. Next Baron is at 40 seconds. MVP will not have the chance to start it. You have to feel like KSV have almost complete map control with their next purchases. They certainly are in a great spot item-wise. Looking at the damage dealt charts, Maha's damage may just be in vain as they try to turn on to Cuvée.
Gonna pop his flash there. It's an interesting timing. He knows that Baron is about to come up, so he doesn't want to get picked. He'd rather burn his flash, especially with the unsealed spellbook at this point. So gets out of dodge there. Has his ultimate available once again. They have lots of options with ultimates that will help push Cosmic Radiance, the Orin ultimate.
Yeah, when you have Orin and you're an initiator, you don't need flash to initiate. As Orin, he has insane range, so he'll still be able to do his job. KSV turn onto the Baron, so this is the start here. Crown just duoing it with Jarvan. That's how much damage Azir does, and we don't even have a Nunu.
Yeah, not yet, at least. Okay, trying to knock Beyond back. Ruler gonna do it all by himself. Is going to pick up the Baron for their team. And now they're looking for a pick here onto Max. See if they really want to commit to that. Not going to happen. They essentially get the free Baron. Nothing that MVP could do to get on in there. As Beyond was pushed away.
This series is awesome for Ruler as he gets hit by a trouble bubble here.
Yeah, he's going to get hit by another one. We got the wall here. Cosmic Radiance coming in. Scared about ADD and potentially Beyond getting into that back line. Now all KSV want to do is just disengage at this point, but ADD wants to say no. That is Azir damage. You can see it down on the bottom side. It's going to knock Azir away though, and Beyond is coming in from behind. This is going to turn into a 5v4 fast. In comes Tom Kents. They get Ruler. They're looking for more picks here. Trying to get on top of Cuvée now. Can they get him? That's going to be 2. on top of that, but the rest of KSV will get away.
A nice force there, Roller getting caught at the start and chunked out, and then a great Poppy ultimate with the ability to eject Azir out of the fight. The threat was no longer there. Good shot calling from MVP with this very MVP-esque comp, rocking the Poppy. Got a lot of value out of the ultimate. Doesn't matter how much gold of stats you have. If you're out of zone to do damage, even against Baron buff, they're looking for more.
Kog'Maw's beginning to pop off a little bit here. They're looking for one turret. Still got 20 seconds on Ruler. They're looking for turret number 2. And potentially an inhibitor here. This game is getting very close as we speak. Even with the Baron buff available on the side of KSV, that's going to be the inhibitor. And the rest of MVP can just walk away. Let's hope they don't make another mistake like they made earlier.
Exactly. Good to see them steady the ship, make good decisions around the Baron, even after giving up the objective for free, and get some kills and take an inhibitor against the run of play. KSV's Baron play, the first one defined the game for them. The second one is going to be almost an afterthought as their red buff is stolen away. They're still waiting for people to get out of base. So over a minute and a half here, 2 minutes plus of Baron wasted from the side of KSV. Good job, MVP.
The Zoe and the Kog'Maw are beginning to get really scary. The Azir, if you engage, yes, he's going to do a lot of damage. Ruler on the Tristana hitting level 18. You were talking about scaling. It's getting to that point in the game, Papa. We're hitting 35 minutes just now.
And you do notice that we're going to get a very early spawn on the Elder Dragon this game. It's going to be spawning at just after 35 minutes 40, which is happy news for MVP. They were lamented which Drakes they ended up with, only picking up a Mountain, 2 Oceans, and also the Cloud. But does mean that Elder is a must fight for KSV, and MVP is still technically ahead in gold at this point in the game. So 5 kills on direct side, not ideal, but a very strong front line for MVP. If Maha can free auto also, there's still a team fight here that MVP can win, even though we love the scaling on the side of KSV.
Okay, looks like we got a fight, or at least QV and Ambition are looking for picks. Ian just trying to poke as much as he can. Wants to land that Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto one of the carries here. I feel like Crown would be best at this point. Ruler can always jump away. Crown can as well, but it'd be nice to get him. Hits him with the Paddle Star here. A bit of damage coming on out. Maha so far has nice protection, but the Ornn ultimate coming in. And he's actually going to knock him away before the Ornn ultimate can go down. Now they're looking for a pick onto Ambition, but MVP kind of getting separated here. You notice that Kog'Maw's mid, Zoe all the way in the back. Nice little burst damage from the Zoe, Ruler, and CoreJJ. Taking a bit. This game has been action-packed from the get-go, even with the low amount of kills that we have. MVP loving their action.
So far, as you say, not necessarily leading to a KSV lead that looked so inevitable with the history of MVP after their smart decision around Baron. Elder is still a must fight, so we're going to extend the fight. Very deep teleport from Poppy.
Oh boy. They even aggro that Elder Drake onto the enemy team. Decide to go at it here. Not scared about a 50-50 at all, but ADD coming in from behind. They're looking for a pick. ADD going to be gobbled up now by Max, and that's a nice Cataclysm. They get Maha, and he just disappears. That's the pick they were looking for. A double kill for Crown. And now they're looking to end the game.
KSV hit the strike onto Maha, the dream. He dies with his flash up. Didn't see if he was unable to flash, but the Ornn ult was the wombo combo, turning on to ADD. That hyper scaling on 2 consistent damage dealers is very, very clear. AD might get away because Poppy. No, he won't. Dazzle on point from CoreJJ. And like you say, with the death timers, 30 seconds-ish on both carries, they're going to at minimum take an inhibitor. Because the minion wave's not there, they might not be able to finish the game.
Looks like it. They want to get this. Maybe they will back off to the Elder. But as I say that, they're beginning to move forward. And we got Maha and Ian about to spawn here. But they're going in. They don't seem to care. Beyond, look at Crown. He's just going to push Beyond away, saying, we don't even want to deal with you. We have enough ultimates to try to delay this. You see, even QV trying to ult the Fountain. They're going on to this Nexus. It's getting very low. And Ambition in the back is going to take it down 2-0, going over to KSV. Still, no game wins for MVP, even though they get so close this game.
You see CoreJJ cracks his head a little bit, cracks his neck a little bit, and says, well, we got the victory. The manner of which they picked up in the victory in Game 2, not going to be one that impresses the coaching staff, but they did show a decisive shot call at the end, and I have to imagine having ambition in there to say, we can do it, we can do it. He was correct, both carries went down, but the tanks were there to do the last bits of damage to the Nexus.